Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a airbrush spray test and up close look. We are looking at the Badger Sotar 2020 Slim on a 02. Now I've owned this brush for quite some time and not really sort of used it. I opened the cabinet today, seen it sort of lurking at the top and thought, you know what, it's time to get the Badger out and give it a little try with my thin paints, because I've not tried all my brushes with the new mixes of paint that I'm using. I've sort of got my go-tos, and I thought I'm going to try the Badger because I used the Badger on the channel on a piece of artwork, and I was running thicker paints at the time and a higher pressure, so I wanted to see what this was like running very low pressure with my new thinned out mixes with the FW inks. So that's the brush. There are quite a few different versions of the Sotar. I've got Google, just pop Google up and just type in Sotar 2020 Slim, and there's different prices, like £93.10 for the one with the little cup on the top. Then we've got my one there on eBay, 140. There's another one there, 179. There's another one here, 151. But the place I got mine from was Barwell Bodyworks shop.com. This is where I got mine from, and this is dropped. This one's now £100. I think I paid about £128 when I got this. So that's down to £100, and that's the one that I've got here. A good seller if you are thinking of buying a Sotar in the UK. That's including shipping as well on that price. There's a little bit about the brush. Tells you a little bit about the brush. So I'll leave a link in the description to Barwell, so if you want to have a look, it's got the full write-up. He stocks a lot of Badgers, does mainly Badger airbrushes, so if you're after a Badger airbrush you can get all the parts, which is really cool, and they're not that expensive either. A needle is £9.18 for one of these needles, so that's pretty good. Sotar 2020 fine paint tip, £5.94. So they're not bad prices. They've got other brushes as well. So if you're after a brush, a Badger airbrush, they stock Patriot 105, Badger airbrush Patriot 105 Arrow, Badger airbrush Extreme Patriot Arrow. Pretty good prices as well, £80, 80, 98 for that one. Extreme Patriot 105, Sotar 2020 2F, that's another one that he does. And you've also got, which I spotted and I think I'm going to have to get it for the collection, is the 2020 2F in gold. Now that looks really nice. Yeah, so the gold one looks really nice. Yeah, this one's got the small cup on it, but it's all like anodized in gold. So that one will be a nice one for the collection. That's 140. So I'll leave a link to that site in the description, so you can head over there and have a look. So what we'll do is we'll move in closer. I've got a piece of paper on the easel, and we're going to drop some of my thin paint in this. We'll just see what the Sotar can do. So there you go, guys. That's the brush. Really nice, just a black finish. I like this brush because it's just like black. You've got your Sotar 2020 Slim there, USA. You've got your dial to the back, so you can dial your trigger in. That's your grip for your needle. So it's pretty cool that you can just undo that and just slide the needle straight. You've got something to grab hold of and slide the needle out. Front of the brush, very sort of flat, stubby front end on these, but you've got a little bit of needle exposure. Now, when I use this brush on the channel, I didn't suffer from any tip dry with it, and I was painting for ages with this brush. So you've got your little scallop to the top that you can put minimal drops of paint in. Now we've got 20 psi, so this is 20 psi coming in, and instantly off the bat it just gets super down. It really does, as you can see. Now this is at 20 psi. One thing I like about the sotar is the trigger is ridiculously responsive. It really is. I think it's probably near on one of the best for responsiveness. We can go a little bit thinner on this mix, but atomises really well. Now it's nice to use this with the thin paint mix, but we're going to thin it again in a minute. I was using it before with thicker body. I was using it was like golden on a 1:1, which is quite still thick, but this brush seems to come alive with thin paints. So really nice just to work the triggers, very easy on this brush. It's very responsive. You get a nice bit of feedback in the tension of the spring coming back. So what we'll do is, I've got a little bit less paint. We're going to get a bit of ISO. The only thing you can't really do with this brush, well you can, but you've got to be really careful. I'd probably drop the pressure down doing it, is bubbling back. You can do it. We'll just pull that through. Now I've dropped the pressure down. Now, that's what I mean by responsive, guys. This thing is really good on response. I mean, look at that. Gets super down. With the right paint mix. It really does. Clean. So these brushes, I think all the brushes, they really do come alive when you dial your paint in. And that's low pressure. Really down. I've not got my glasses on, so I'm struggling to see. But nice and clean when you want to use it low down on things. It's just a very nice brush. It's really nice to pick it up off the shelf and actually see what it can do with the right paint mix. Super nice on dagger strokes. Easy point to points with this brush. Really nice and clean, and it will get you a nice spray pattern down and atomise nice, soft top and bottom. So a brilliant brush by Badger, I think, and that's why I picked it up. I'd heard a lot about it. No dramas painting with this brush for long periods of time at all, because it's just very comfortable. I mean, really clean, sharp on the paint. Yeah, just really nice. Takes the paint off. Very nice. Perfect point finishes. When you take the paint off, there's no breaks in it at all. It's just right down to a pinpoint. So if you are thinking of one, I can definitely recommend it. I really can, especially if you're using the FW inks or Createx illustration. I mean, look at the finishes on them points there. Absolutely pinpoint on that brush. drop it down a bit more. And again, that's dropped right down. And look at that. Really clean, no breaks, no spitting, and that's very, very low pressure. Yeah, it likes the low pressure. Yeah, very nice brush. And we're out of paint. So all that bit there we did with 1 cupful. So it does last you quite a while when you're running low pressure. And airbrushes, you don't really use a lot of paint. When you're doing artwork, you don't use loads of paint. And this does make you cut down on wasting paint, these brushes do, because you can waste a lot of paint when you've got a bigger cup. Straight in again. Yeah, lovely brush. It really is. Very nice. Very clean. It's nice to pick it up. It's sort of opened my eyes with this brush. Using the thin paints now, it just, to me, when I first used it, I thought, yeah, it's a good brush, but I didn't see its full ability. And now putting low, thin paint in it and dropping the pressure and seeing what it can actually achieve, coming right down, it's phenomenal. Very responsive trigger. I mean, them dots are pinpoint. Absolutely pinpoint. With ease. I mean, that is like hairline again. Just does it on a 0-2. You see that? You probably can't see that if I do it sort of here. That's whisper fine, really is. Straight away, I know exactly where to hit it for that, and I can hit that every single time. Just go from a dot, 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 big, straight down, hairlines. Back into a hairline. Yeah, lovely brush, guys. So if you are thinking of one, check out Barwell. I'll leave a link to his website. If you're after a sotar, I might pick up for the collection, because I do like collecting brushes. I might pick up the gold one because that'll look really nice. Gold with the black bits on. I think that'll look very nice. One for a collection, but a lovely brush. I will use this more on the channel. So that's the look at the sotar. I'm glad I got it off the shelf. I really am, because as I said, I used it with thicker paints at high pressures, so it was like not getting down on the real fine detail and just seeing how good the brush is. Dropping the FW mix with the isopropyl and water in, this brush just came alive. It just turned it into a different type of beast. Now, we all know brushes can get down. They can all get down like this, and some do it easier than others. And the sotar does it easy. It really does. Get the right paint mix, drop it in that brush, and it just eats it. It just does it with ease. Very comfortable on the trigger. Very nice balanced brush in your hand for long periods of time when you're working for hours. You'll just do it effortlessly with this sotar. You won't waste paint because you can't put loads of paint down its neck. If that was a big cup on an airbrush, we always tend to fill the cups up. We overfill them and we're painting, and we never get time to take the lids off of bottles and decant it back in. You just sort of chuck it away, blast through, get your next colour, because you want to get on with the artwork. That brush, you will say it's a paint saver. It really is, because you put minimal paint each time. and just take your time. It slows you down on your painting, I think, which is a good thing, because I tend to paint quite quick, so the sotar slows me down. So dropping that thin paint mix in it and then bringing the pressure down, because I've used to be running this around 20 to 25, dropping it down, this sounded like below 10. Didn't check the actual regulator, but I know it was below 10 because I've got it set at 20, and I dropped that air reg right down on the inline bit on my airline, and it just came alive. It really did. It dropped down real nice point to point. When you take the paint off, it's very clean. It just takes it off very clean, and you'll notice with the sotar you don't get much tip dry when you use it. It's a very clean front end. It just stays clean. I don't know how, but it does. No dramas with it, and it gets super down. And when I was doing the dagger strokes and you take your paint off, it takes it off very sharp and clean. So that just goes to show that the needle and nozzle are very nice, well made. When you bring that trigger off and that needle goes back and closes off the paint, it closes it off very nice, because it comes out very clean on the finishing stroke. And when you start and stop your trigger, it's very clean on the paint and very accurate, precise. When you just touch the trigger, you've got paint, bang, it's instantly there. You could tell that on the dots where I was just nudging the trigger and it was like bang, 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 and consistent release on paint, which was really good. So it was nice to pick it back up. I will use this in the step by step. I'll introduce the sotar. You'll see me bring the sotar in. We'll do a little bit of painting with the sotar, and we'll do a bit of painting with the water as well, because I just want to pick it back up again now. I've tried it with a thin paint mix. So I will go through my brush range again, trying the brushes that I've got, because some of you may not have seen them and you might be sort of out looking for one of the brushes. So I'll start running through my brush collection, doing videos like this, bringing a bit of Google up so you get to see today's prices, because some of the brushes I've got are old, but they're still sellers of today. So I hope you've enjoyed it on the sotar, Badger Sotar Slim 2020 on a 02. Join me in the next one, which will be the third part of the step-by-step, and we'll jump on the sotar as well as the water, and you'll get to see both of them drop a bit of paint down on a piece of artwork. So thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.